Sometimes I wish I was more of a car guy. You ever see those like real car guys where like you turn on an engine 2 miles away and he stops everything that he's doing and then he's able to pinpoint what's wrong with that car? Like, oh, it's a piston off the second or third cylinder. It's misfiring by about 2 beats, whoop de woo. And you go, and this guy knows his stuff. That's when I knew I never was going to take a wrench to the car. I was always told that growing up, like, oh, one day you're going to have to be the one to take the wrench to the car. And I thought, I'm going to have to throw a wrench at my car? Like, that one, I'm getting a car? I thought, oh, yeah, cool, I'm getting a car. But turns out, no, they gave me a wrench. You ever see someone try and work on a car? The first time I saw someone working on a car, I thought, oh, they're breaking the car. It almost seems like you gotta break the thing to put it back together. Like they were doing an oil change, and then it was just like fluids leaking from everywhere. It seemed really complicated. Maybe not that complicated because I just kind of walked away and then was told, all right, you got this. Oh, I should have been paying more attention. So, because those guys that can just hear it, sometimes I try that tactic. Now, usually when your car makes a noise, right? Like your first thing you kind of stop. Well, if the car stops, that's when you know you've really done it. Because sometimes it's a loud bang, and then the car just, either stops working, you hear grinding metal, the real indicators that your mode of transportation will no longer be carrying you where you want to be carried. Because usually you're trying to ignore that noise. Because a noise means work that you don't know, I don't know what to do. And, you got to take it in. And it's always that weird conversation. What's wrong with it? I don't know, it was making a noise. But where? I don't know. Somewhere in the general vicinity of this whole vehicle. I'm not really sure. Nothing started to break. I have a litmus test, which sometimes I like to just throw in words that kind of make sense. My lady absolutely hates it. She's the most literal person ever. So when I just like throw in a word that doesn't make any sense, she goes, it would make a lot more sense if you use the right word. I go, no, I don't have time to know the meanings of things. And one, that conversation didn't go over well. And neither did it go over well with Google. I tried typing in litmus test. One, it's litmus test with an M, not an N. And it was one of those moments where you try and think in your head that Google's wrong. You go, hey, no, Google. It was so smooth when I said it. There's no way that I would have misspelled it while typing it. And clearly, you are wrong. And so you try and type it in again thinking you're going to trick the system. No, you just can't spell, nor do you not how to know use the words. See? And so I'm sitting there not knowing how to use words. So I tried this test. When the car makes a noise, but it's still moving, right? And nothing seems to be happening. One, you just turn up the radio. Who uses a radio anymore? What am I kidding? Actually, I used to have this car where the radio popped out. I had no idea what it was for. Apparently, it was a really big thing. The car was very old, but the radio would just pop out. And someone would tell me, yeah, there was a time where people that stole radios. And so you would pop them out and like put them in your back pocket and just walk around with them to ensure that they didn't get stolen. I was like, you don't worry about the car getting stolen, the radio, and so it pops. But anyways, you turn up the radio. And if you turn up the radio or music or whatever, and you can still hear the noise, that's when you know, okay, I'm not tricking myself. There is actually something going on. So you turn down the radio and you listen again and it happens. You go, okay, well, now you got to come up with solutions because you're in denial. It's denial, 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 denial. Oh, the car's not working? Denial, kick it. Maybe it rolls a little bit. You're still okay. And then, worst case scenario, you give it till the next day when you can drive it somewhere and hopefully it still keeps going. So I think, oh, you know what? I've been hearing that it's windy. Maybe it's the wind. So I don't come to a full and complete stop where I am and, verify that information. I wait for a red light and I come to a full and complete stop, roll down the window. Not even a breeze, man. Like I haven't had to do the whole lick of the finger, just to feel something. Could have been having a stroke. But that's how one time my twin got us out of a sketchy situation. Not really a sketchy situation. We were basically riding our bikes, and he got us lost. And then by the stroke of pure, well, the wind, right? I was a kid, and then after this, maybe not all that bright, one would say, because he did the whole lick of the finger, and he kept doing that and following a weird ass path that made no sense. And he got us to where we needed to go. And I thought, by golly, if that worked that time, it'll work this time. There was no wind. I thought, okay, well, maybe the noise is just gone. So I just start, heading my way again. And, the noise goes. And I go, well, this is it's just going to be one of those things where the car just falls apart and all I'm holding on to is the steering wheel and my foot is like still on the gas pedal, like one of them like, movie animated moments. I was actually kind of looking forward to it as long as I was okay because, the seat is still intact, seatbelt's still going. You're getting the picture I'm painting with the words that are making sense. So none of that happened because rewind to an earlier conversation. Really should have finished the conversation I was having with my lady, with you guys, and with her because she finished that statement with, "Oh, by the way, did you know that it snowed?" I know winter's not technically over. It's just been popping up, going, "Hey, not going away yet." And I go, "Yeah. Oh, I parked outside." And so what was happening was the car was frozen. And so I was driving, the ice was melting and chipping away as I was driving with the wind of the car. Cause when you're driving in the wind, I really got to figure out this wind. Cause when I was a kid, anytime somebody wanted to go to Wendy's, they would wait till they were just on the highway and go, "Oh, let's go to Wendy's." And people would be like, "Why?" "Oh, because it's windy outside." See? And they would roll down the window. Clearly wind because, velocity and this, that, and the other thing. Words that make sense that will tie that together. And so I just figured no more working on the car. If it makes a noise, I take it in. Hey, it's making a noise. Because, the other game you can play is when you try to elevate from the simple oil change. I had done that like once or twice. I probably messed it up, but I did it once or twice. And then the car was very old. Now I really have to like, give myself some support here because no one's going to believe this. The car was very old. Okay. And one day, way after the oil changes and mechanics probably looked at it, we hope. Uh, I noticed a crack in like the gas tank. I hope it was the gas tank. It was at the bottom of the car and it smelled like gas. Okay, like that's all I got. Okay, clearly I shouldn't even be near a car. But anyways, there was a crack, and this was, at a time where there was no going anywhere. There was this car needed to get to from A to B and back to A every time without fail because I was a kid. Well, I was a young adult on my own. We all know. We've all been there. So I tried to do one of those like as seen on TV moments where like instead of like, fixing the crack on something that was legitimately a concern, apparently there was this thing where you could get like putty, which just kind of looked like old retired gum that was just kind of on the cement, been stepped on a few times. And basically, you just stick that on there, and it's supposed to create like a seal, but it's supposed to look really nice. Mine literally looked like I just shoved a bunch of double bubble right up there, after stepping on it into the ground, because I thought, well, these are the instructions. And then the thing would fall off. It would kept leaking. I bought like three or four of those things until I got into an accident one day and the thing just exploded. Well, the crack just turned into a hole, right? And, I'm sitting there and I'm freaking out. Remember, a young adult. And so I called my father, which what else are you supposed to do in that moment? I need somebody's help. And I figured, you know, he showed me how to do the oil change. I should have followed up with more lessons to complete a successful oil change before attempting that. But I call him up. I go, hey, I've been in an accident. I'm on the freeway. Any advice? He pulls me up on Google Maps and he goes, man, you're causing a lot of traffic. Now is not the time for your shenanigans. I'm in a car. The crack is a hole. Everything is on the floor, right? Whatever was in the car is now on the floor. And now I've got like people telling me I need to get in the car and move it off the freeway. And I was like, I can't turn the car on. All the fluids are not in it. It's on the floor. Like all I'm thinking is turn the ignition, explosion, me and the car goes skyrocketing 100 feet in the air, and I wind up, contemplating my life choices as I've got the time, because if you fall from 100 feet, you've got the time to think. Okay, so I'd be thinking, going, I gotta get out of here. I even had to tell the like maintenance auto repair guy, like, hey, I can't turn this on. They go, why not? I go, look underneath. And they go, that's all of your fluids. I go, yeah. You can't even tell what they are because now they've pooled together and joined forces. So it's a cocktail of disaster waiting under there. So maybe I'm breaking things, but I just, you can't grow if you're not, having pitfalls, I guess. Speaking about growing, there was one time I broke my growth plate in my foot. I know. And, well, here's what happened, right? A lot of support. And actually, no support because I tripped and fell. My own fault, clearly. But I tripped and fell and noticed a pain. And just kind of like the car noise, you ignore it because as long as the foot still works, you keep strolling on. But it was hurting. Like it was hurting so bad. It was like one of those first times I asked my brother for help. I was like, actually, you know what? For the first time, could you help me? Like I need to lean on me because I am not strong at this moment. My foot hurts. And he goes, walk it off, as one would do. And so I walked it off. And it turns out I broke the growth plate, which I didn't even know what that meant. I just thought now my leg would stop growing, which I thought, oh, great. I still have time to grow. So that means one leg is going to grow and the other one's not. Then I clearly realized that it's my foot where the growth plate was broken. So it has nothing to do with my leg. So my legs should be growing just fine. Although I wasn't really sure. Maybe now my foot wasn't going to grow. I was confused on what this plate was and what was broken. But anyways, it got slapped up in one of them casts. I don't even know if they do them anymore because those things are terrible. You gotta throw a bag on your foot just to hop in the shower. And if you get an itch, oh, it becomes like psychological warfare because no matter how much it just doesn't. I never want to go through that experience again. Then they have to saw it off your leg. Don't even get me to that. Yeah, that's the bonus. Right after going through all of that and getting a cool thing and some crutches and getting to leave 10 minutes early from class. What is that? That's not even enough time to eat a sandwich. And it's tiresome doing this with crutches, okay? Especially the place I went to is a building, had stairs. I don't need to bore with you details. The elevator was broken, had to do the whole staircase, was late all the time. And so, then they saw the thing off your leg. And then they go, you want it? It hasn't been like, and you go, no, I don't want, throw it out the window and then throw fire at it. Like, nobody wants that thing. You had to saw it off my leg. Why did you put something on my leg that required a little saw blade? They're like, and they don't tell you. It's one of those things they just leave out of the little booklet they hand you of like the cast, people signing it. You feel like you're a celebrity, and then they turn around and then they just because all you hear is an engine, and you're like, what's happening? They're like, well, time to get this off your leg. No, thank you. And then please get it off, but don't saw my leg off, because I gotta get out of here. But, if I was between me and the cast, I guess get me out of here. And with that, I'm out of here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.